All right, so I hit the wrong button. You know, so this is the final ending of the final draw. So you guys, I apologize. I'm doing a lot of technicality stuff that I'm still learning and using a different computer that doesn't have swipe. And I guess I'm a millennial. I don't know. I think I'm a little spoiled in all of the touchy stuff. So it's not quite that way anymore. So I apologize. I apologize profusely, and I hope that you guys are still joining us because we definitely want to just chit chat a little bit more. He's having a good time. I'm having a good time. The place is a great time. All right, so
All right, we're back at it.
we're back at it. We're gonna pretend that didn't happen. You can just splice those together and act like that never happened. All right, so tell us, what have been some of your, speaking of growing pains, what have been some of the growing pains that maybe you've experienced about opening a lounge that is at this level? Oh, they love your hat too. Oh, thanks, Aldo. Love you.
So, a couple of things. It mostly deals with staffing. You know, the skill set and the competence that you need at the beginning evolves as you start to grow.
Yeah.
And everybody is not able to grow with you as your business grows. And that is very difficult. It's emotional because as a small business, you become family with your employees.
Yeah.
And seeing some employees having to kind of fall by the wayside because they can't keep up with or can't accept change. We were very, very loose with what we did and the rules and when we were under the stairs. But now as we've gotten bigger and we've become more corporate and everybody can't deal with that and it's difficult emotionally to
Yeah.
see people go. I've had some real heartbreaks with some of the employees that have moved on and are no longer with us simply because they couldn't adjust to the change.
Yeah, I got you. So, um, in that, I also feel like you do have obviously a full bar. You have a full
Yes.
bar in the epicenter, and then I see that you have a pretty full bar here. She was able to fix anything that I wanted, which is amazing. So, in that sense, when you say corporate, do you have? And you said that you do teach them how to make the drinks. They're being taught. And of course, these drinks are probably fixed so that they taste the same throughout any bartender, correct?
And for the most part, so we have one signature cocktail
Okay.
that we're absolutely rigorous about, and that's the Taylor Smoked Old Fashioned.
Yeah.
We spoke about that earlier. The other cocktails that we make are pretty standard. Margaritas, Moscow mules, martinis, stuff like that. Those are pretty standard, but we do have a recipe that we follow. But I would say 90% of the drinks that we make are just pours. You
Okay.
know, pours of scotch, pours of bourbon,
Right.
things like that. So it's not super difficult. It's more difficult to train a cigar tender than it is a bartender.
Really?
Yes.
Well, that's interesting. Okay, so you have a huge humidor at the location in the epicenter, but now this was just a humidor behind the bar.
Well, both are.
Okay.
Both
Oh,
are.
I didn't realize that.
Yeah. And we
I thought
carry
you were able to walk in the humidor. I thought.
no.
Okay.
But at Taylor Smoke, our humidors are behind the bar for a purpose. And that purpose is to force a conversation between the cigar tender and the customer so that we can really take the time to recommend something that we think you're going to like.
Wow. I've
And also,
never heard that. That's a great idea.
if the humidors are behind the bar, they are less likely to grow legs and walk away.
That's true. I got you. I got you there. So, all right. So you, but now, how did you put all of the cigars behind the bar at the other location?
So, I mean, it's a bunch of creativity. Louis, who is my right hand, the director of operations for Taylor Smoke, he is an expert at setting up the humidors. We have 5 cabinet humidors, and we're able to get. At one point in time, we had almost 400 facings in there.
Wow.
Now we cut it down purposely back to 300 to make it more manageable for the cigar tenders.
Okay.
But it's kind of like putting together a jigsaw puzzle, and he's great at it.
Yeah. So, do the manufacturers ever come in and they want to discuss with you about how they want their facings? Do they ever argue with you about that certain thing?
So we have agreements with some manufacturers in particular on how we will display their product. But most, as long as they're moving, most really don't care.
All right,
Yeah.
I got that. Even Perdomo?
Now, Perdomo is one that we have to put them on the humidor a certain way.
You know, I got
When
to.
you look at our humidor, there is a Perdomo section.
Yep, I know Nick and Billy really well, so I've definitely gotten to actually experience watching them put facings on an entire cabinet of
Oh, wow,
Perdomo
okay.
cigars. So, and I'm talking, yeah, Nick took off his jacket and everything and was like on his knees and just doing it himself.
Yeah.
You know, the man's a hard worker, so it's a funny thing.
Perdomo is very specific.
Yes, I can see that.
Yep.
I think it does only the thing, but if it's behind a bar, you can't really read those facings very well, which I think that's kind of the point of the facing is to be able, if the person's walking by, they can be able to read it really quickly and kind of understand what the cigar is going to give them without
So-
having a tender there.
So we have, with Perdomo in particular, we have shelf talkers on each box.
Yeah.
That's big and magnified, so
Okay.
very easy to see.
Oh, okay, cool.
Mhm.
I like that.
Yeah.
So when you were getting back to the drinks, do you guys have just one specific cocktail, and then you guys are just mostly, I know you're mostly doing other things, but they're able to make a lot of other. Whenever you hire a bartender, are you looking for a certain experience level?
When we
Because
hire,
the reason why I asked this question, I'm sorry I interrupted
Okay.
you, is mainly because I was at the Epicenter and your ladies were extremely knowledgeable. I mean, extremely, they were up to par on service.
Mhm.
I mean, the way that they really handled it was just incredible.
okay.
So that's why I'm thinking, this is a little bit different location, but down there it was just a whole nother experience.
And so what we look for are people that are teachable.
Okay, I like that.
We take. I mean, we've brought people in that don't know anything about anything, but they're teachable. And so when you have somebody that's teachable and they like people and they like giving a good customer experience, we can work with them.
Yeah,
We can work with them.
I love it. So what else do you want to let the people know about Taylor Smoke?
Let's see. Oh, we've talked about a lot. I am really humbled by the support that we've received. I feel very good that we work hard every day to provide a great experience. And I'm excited about spreading this out across the country.
Yeah, I was just about to ask you, where do you really see the future of Taylor Smoke going?
So I already have, I would say, potential franchisees in several states. And we've been working hard to grow the brand. Uh, I see in the next 10 years, there should be a Tailored Smoke close to everybody.
Now, you said you're selling a model and everybody could replicate this model and be successful. What is it that really makes your model different from other cigar lounges that gives you the confidence that it will be able to be franchised and across the country?
Well, I get feedback all the time. So Taylor Smoke is a members lounge. It's a private lounge. You have to be a member.
Oh, okay.
Membership is easy. It takes like 5 minutes. It's only $10 a year at this point. But we have over 69,000 members across the world.
Wow.
And when people come to Taylor Smoke, one thing that I hear very often is, wow, I wish I had something like this where I live, because there's nothing like this where I live. And that's what gave me the idea and encouragement to start franchising.
Now, what about in states that maybe not allow the same, or there's certain laws that are going to keep you from having the same model?
So we won't go there.
Okay.
Um, if you can't have a barn and smoke inside, then the tailored smoke model won't work.
Got it.
There may be some states that we have to dabble in food a little bit, and we're already looking at ideas on how to do that. We actually have some potential franchisees that we're working very closely with now that we have to add a food component, but we will not be in a state that we have to subtract the component.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Now, what would it be? Let's say that a person is looking to franchise, but maybe they have to spend in Florida. Some of the alcohol licenses
Yeah.
can be very expensive.
Right.
Are you helping people get an alcohol license, or is that something that you discuss with them, or what?
So it's interesting when we look at Florida as a state, we're only entertaining um, potential franchisees that have access to a liquor license
Okay.
because we understand that in Florida it's very difficult to even have the potential to have access to a liquor license, and when you do, it's several $100,000 to get it, and so we've had some inquiries out of Florida, but if it's people that don't already have access to a liquor license, then we just kind of stop right there.
Gotcha. All right. So, if you could describe the culture of a tailored smoke lounge, what kind of culture would you describe it as? And I say like day and then maybe evening.
Okay, all right. So the term I would use is upscale casual.
Okay.
Okay, so you can come in dressed in a suit like myself and be comfortable. You can come in jeans and also be comfortable. Sitting next to me in a suit.
Yeah.
So it is upscale comfort.
Sounds like Naples.
During the day, I would say it's very relaxed. We have a lot of people that actually come to Tailored Smoke during the day and work. They set up their laptops, they have their phones, and they work from Tailored Smoke.
Like,
In the evening, it's much more social. On the weekends, I would say it's lively. We don't, like I said, we don't always have a DJ or things like that, but it is much more lively on the weekend, much more subdued and calm during the week.
nice.
Yeah.
And now we're sitting inside of a private lounge. This is the VIP area.
Yeah.
And so, what kind of VIP events do you often have? And also, I see that you have lockers available as well.
Yeah, so we're sitting in the Oscar Valadares VIP Lounge, sponsored by Oscar Valadares Tobacco Company. I think we are the only Oscar sponsored lounge in the country. And in my uptown location, that will shortly be an Espinosa VIP lounge. And as a VIP member, you get access to the lounges, fingerprint access to the VIP lounge.
That's
Our locker members get 20% off of all of their non-alcohol purchases,
okay.
and they get at least one free cigar a month, normally more. And we do private events, like we've done private tastings with Louis the 13th for our locker members. We've done a virtual tour for My Father cigars with our locker members. We had a Woodford Reserve Baccarat tasting for our locker members.
Nice.
So we try to do things that foster and support that exclusivity of being a Taylor Smoke locker member.
Awesome.
And the cool thing about being a Taylor Smoke locker member, if you are a locker member at one location, you're a VIP member at all locations.
Oh, okay. I love that. Do you have VIP rooms at the other location?
Yes, we do.
Nice. Wow, this has been really enlightening, to tell you the truth, because I've learned so much about owning a lounge and all the details behind it.
Yeah.
So it seems like you really have it together, and I'm
Thank you.
excited. So why don't you give them just maybe the website where they can, the two locations they can find you, and anything that you want to just leave them with and let them know and invite them out to and come and enjoy this place.
All right. And so I want to tell you my vision statement, and then I'll go into that.
Absolutely.
Right.
Love to
So
hear that.
Taylor Smoke Cigar Lounge will be known throughout the industry for providing an unparalleled cigar experience at each location, at each event. Our courteous, knowledgeable, and professional staff will be second to none. And every day that we come to work, we look at that and we try to make sure that our actions are reflective of that vision statement. So our first location is at 210 East Trade Street, formerly known as the Epicenter, now known as Queen City Quarters. And our second location is 8633 Concord Mills Boulevard in Concord, North Carolina, right next to Concord Mills Mall. We have our website, which is taylorsmoke.com. And if you're interested in becoming a franchisee, go to taylorsmoke.com/franchising. And it's been an honor and a privilege to talk with you tonight and be in front of you all tonight. And man, let's give it up for the Leaf.
Yes,
All right.
I love it. You've been fantastic for me as well, so I appreciate your time and
you.
the hospitality that I've received since the moment I walked in. I didn't even have to introduce myself. They absolutely knew who I was, and your general manager immediately took care of me, and it's been fabulous. So you
That's
do
awesome.
well. And the people here are amazing. They were already very friendly, even when I started I love the music. The music was like when I was back in high school. I was like, yeah, I'm digging that. Although it might have just been a remix song. These days you can't tell what's new and what's old sometimes.
Hey, all you know is if you like it or you don't, right?
I was definitely digging it.
All right. Great.
Well, thank you so much. I appreciate you. Preston Gray, you guys, with Tailored Smoke in North Carolina. So check it out. And check me out on Instagram at Little Cisco Kid 21. And also be sure to be here Friday nights, 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for the final draw. And we will see you guys next week.
Take care.
Give me a minute.